Hi everyone, welcome to Othello Flips, how to start winning in Othello Milestone 2, the second video of the series. You can visit my website, othelloflips.com to learn more. Without further ado, let's go to today's contents. Okay, first we're going to cover on the danger of running out of safe moves. Next, you'll be forcing opponents to play bad moves, followed by the importance of mobility. Last will be a summary for the main points of the video. Okay, from the first video, we understood the importance of securing corners, and to avoid giving them away easily at this stage of learning, we avoid playing the X and C squares. However, a player will not be able to do so if he runs out of safe options. So let us take a look at the board. Okay, it is black's turn to play for this board. So take note on how limited options that black have, and black only have these squares that it can play, which will surrender the corner immediately. Okay, so if let's say black plays b7, white does not have to take the corner straight, because if he does so, black can just wedge into b8. In fact, white can have both moves at the bottom left by playing b8 first, forcing black to play either g7 or g8 next. So if let's say black plays g7 and white can go into a8, after which he can still secure the other corner. And this is a very winning position for white. Okay. Okay, so this is another example, but this time it is white's turn to play. So if it's black's turn to play, of course, black is in a lot of trouble here, because these are the only few moves that black can play. Okay, so pause the recording for a moment and see whether you can find a move for white at which black will be forced to play back squares after that move. Okay, so the move that white should play here is b6, because b6 only gives an additional move at b7, which is a bad square for black to play. Okay, you realize that other moves might not as efficient. So for example, if white plays e2, sorry, I mean e7, black have other options over here, of which he can do something like this, and white will have to open up more moves for black, and he cannot finish black straight off if he chooses this particular move. Same thing, let's say white picks something like c7, black can just choose to play this way and still preserve the move b6 later. So he can still choose to play on safe squares. So b6 is the only move that forces black to play on squares that are not safe. Okay, so those are two examples of having no safe options is bad. Next, on forcing opponents to play bad moves. Okay, a player is leading big in a game if he has plenty of options to play, while his opponent is being forced to play the X and C square early. So to close in on such a lead, always take away or play your opponent's safe options. So let us look at some examples on that. Okay, for this board, it is white's turn to play. I want you to pause the video and consider where should white play to force black to surrender corners. Okay, so one of the few things white should not be considering straight off is moves on the right side of the board here from G3 to G6. Okay, because that will open up more moves for black, and which is basically more safe options for black. So if white plays E8, black can just take this, and white will be forced to play along G3 to G6 again. So the best move white can play here is probably C8, of which black cannot touch this because the corner A most likely cannot be defended. Neither should he go this because he will surrender A immediately. So black will try to play E8, after which white will play G8. Okay, so from here, black should not consider G7 because if white plays here, its access to H8 cannot be denied. So the best thing that black could do here is B7. So the idea is if white plays A8, black can wedge into B8 and get the H8 corner. But despite that, white is still very leading here because black do not have much options. So if let's say black plays this, white plays this, black plays this, white could just do this also. Okay, if black goes into A1, white wedges into B1 and still get the H1 corner eventually. Okay, let us take a look at another example. This is also still white's turn to play. So pause the recording for a moment and consider where should white play to force black to play bad moves. Okay, so to take note in this position, A4 is a competitive square between black and white. It is a position where black and white can play on their turn. So the correct move here for white is to play A4. Failure to play A4 will give rise to this problem. If let's say white attempts a move like G6 or G5, black can snatch the move first, of which white will be forced to play out on the G column again, providing more safe moves for black. So white should immediately remove the root of the problem. And after this, black will be forced to play bad moves over here. So to take note that if let's say black plays G7, white does not have to enter H8 immediately because if you realize white does not have access to G8 here, and this can result in problems maybe like this. Yeah, never mind, it does not work. But it will be safer for white to actually maybe cut over here and create this E6 this to gain access to G8 first. So let's say black replies on this, then white can play here, followed by the corner. And you will secure stable distance along the bottom edge here. Okay, next is on the importance of mobility. From the previous examples, we learned that having safe options are important. Even better, we should try to ensure we have as many options as possible. This is counterintuitive as in order to have maximum possible options each turn, you need to flip as few discs as possible on the exterior of the disc formation. The idea of having more options can start as early as the third move in the game. So for a start, learn to recognize which moves are definitely bad and therefore the rest are playable if you're not playing against a master. So let's look at the board example. Okay, over here it is white's turn to play. So what I'm going to cover here is to eliminate eliminate bad moves. Okay. So offhand, you should know that white should not play this square. White should not play this square either. Okay. So pause the recording for a moment and consider again what white should not play. Okay, so one of the few things as white should not play here is a move like c7. Why? Okay, consider white's options. White could play these two moves, okay? And by playing c7 directly, it will remove both options right off the bat. So originally you have two safe moves to play. Let's say if white plays this, followed by black play here, and white plays this. So white plays his b6 and c7 safe move. But by playing c7 straight, you realize that white does not have access to b6 anymore. So c7 is one of those moves you should not be playing. In order to preserve the moves, you should take them in 2 turns instead of 1, so that you do not run out of moves easily. Next is a move like e7. Okay, e7 flips 3 moves on the exterior of the disc formation. Basically, these 3 discs. This one, and this one. So it's actually quite detrimental to the position, because by flipping so many exterior discs, you end up giving a lot more moves to black. This one, this one, this one, this one. That's quite a lot, in fact. Okay. So learn to preserve your moves and try not to give too many moves for black. So some moves that are considerable in this position, besides this, is maybe this or this. Okay, g4 or g5 will be better. Okay, so moves like f7 can be considered, because you create the d5 disc to create access into b5. But moves like g6 should be avoided if possible, because if black plays g5, you realize that your g4 move is no longer, it's going to be providing a lot of moves for black on the right edge. Okay, the summary of the day. It is dangerous to run out of safe moves and be forced to play x and c square early. So to avoid running out of safe moves, one should flip as few discs as possible on the exterior of the disc formation. Basically, you try to preserve your safe moves as much as possible and avoid giving your opponent too many safe moves to play.